Moments ago, an American Airlines flight burst into flames at Denver International Airport.
Yeah, but we got this on vacation. Look, I just want to show y'all something. There's like, look at that.
Daniel Melms, and he created a device that can see entities and anomalies.
Okay, whoever owns a site on the dark web is definitely watching my videos, because as soon as I posted that, my name had been added.
What's up, guys? I'm Mr. Normal, and I found some creepy TikTok videos that made me question my reality. And with all that being said, if you guys wouldn't mind hitting that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on another video like this.
Okay, whoever owns this site on the dark web is definitely watching my videos, because as soon as I posted that my name had been added to the site, it went offline again. If you don't know, I bought some shoes off a super shady site on the dark web. A bunch of weird stuff happened after that, but yesterday I saw that they had added my name to the site and it said coming soon, and my shoes were listed at like $75,000, so I'm not sure what that means. As you guys know, I couldn't post about this for a little while. Basically, I was reached out to by someone who was looking into this. I actually did not contact them. They reached out to me. To reiterate, I actually did not contact them. It sounds like one of you guys, it actually sounds like a lot of you guys contacted them. For the most part, I'm allowed to keep posting whatever I want. I'm just strongly discouraged from posting certain aspects of it. And I got clarification about what I could post yesterday, which is why I was like, I owe everyone a little bit of an update. And I actually went on the site to show everyone that the site was still down, but yesterday it wasn't, and my name was on there. Today on stream, I was planning on showing what my actual listing said when you clicked it, because the site's down now. So I think what I'm going to do instead is show the Luminol video that I recorded with the second boots right before I heard that I had to stop posting for a little bit. There's obviously one other thing that everyone keeps asking to see, but I cannot show that, and I can't really talk about it either. So yeah, I don't want to get anyone's hopes up, but I'll see you on the live.
See, this was a fun dark web series, but now that the Schumann's actually watching your videos and your name's on the website, I feel like this is getting a little dangerous. But I do eventually want him to make an update on the thing that he can't talk about. And when he does, I'll let you guys know.
According to the CIA, we have superhuman abilities. Watch this.
So the CIA released a document saying the universe is a hologram.
They did.
And basically the document teaches you how to access superhuman abilities as well as use your consciousness to shift your reality. I'm breaking down this document section by section, and this is part 4. This section is pretty short but very interesting because it talks about the use of the HemiSync. What they noticed is by putting people through the HemiSync system, they could have people access advanced states of meditation, maybe some states that would take the average meditator 20 years to reach, and they could have them reach it pretty much in 10 to 15 minutes. And these states would be where the left and right brain come into complete coherence, so much so that it seems like the whole body and the brain and heart come into coherence as well. Which, for anyone who's familiar with Dr. Joe Dispenza's work, he talks a lot about the power of brain and heart coherence. And for those who don't know, hemi-syncing is when you have a different frequency playing in each ear, both between 4 and 7 hertz. And based on what they're saying here, this accelerates your meditative experience and can help you astral travel or astral project much quicker.
So the universe is a hologram and we've had superhuman abilities hidden from us. You know, 2025 is really eye-opening, but I do like the meditation part of this because if someone has like anxiety or something, they could just do this and calm down really quick.
I'm just telling you guys right now, I'm under attack.
He disappeared because he transformed plastic waste into gasoline. This reminds me of a meme. Whenever someone tries to upend the history of oil or medicine, they mysteriously disappear. Yes, currently there is a person named Julian Brown who has discovered a method to convert plastic into gasoline that can be used in vehicles. One can imagine how many companies wouldn't like this guy. In fact, in his previous videos, he had already left some hints. He said he might encounter an accident and that he wouldn't live long. Later, he posted his last video on Instagram, saying that strange things were happening. There was a helicopter following him, and he was subjected to some attacks. This video was posted on July 9th. It has been over 2 weeks since then, so he has been missing for more than 2 weeks. If you look at the whole situation as a whole, Julian might have received some threats and even be in danger to his personal safety. Now everyone believes that Julian has met with an accident. But as things stand, it seems that this is the truth. He has not come out to issue a statement, and no one else has found him either. But there are others who believe he might have been taken somewhere safe, that he's being protected. If that's the case, great. Give the guy a lab and some funding. His work could honestly change the world.
Kind of reminds me of the dude that went missing after he figured out how to make a car run on water. It's like every single time something cool or life-changing is made by someone, they're either bought out by a company or they go missing.
There's a device that can see demons and other entities in our realm. Let's talk about it. So there is a scientist by the name of Daniel Melms, and he created a device that can see entities and anomalies all around us and took pictures of it. Right here you can see there's different pictures of what he captures. So how does this work? It uses quantum mechanics, electromagnetism, and it uses anomalies. Now, what are the anomalies? The anomalies are these different images that you see here. These images don't appear anywhere else in the film. So you can clearly see that they're here. And we've been always talking about battling a spiritual war. These might be the entities that we're actually battling against, and he was actually able to capture them. So when we're talking about, whether or not other entities are around us, he captured them on film. And we talked about the other goggles, the diacyanin goggles, in the other episode. And you guys were like, what's the other device? What's the other device? Here's the other device right here. So my question to you is, do you believe that we're able to capture these demons and other entities on film? What can we do about it? Are we able to become like Ghostbusters? Or is this just another myth and Mythbusters should come and try to bust it? What do you think?
If Daniel Nems is a credible scientist, I don't see why not to believe him. But I do want to know how freaked out he got when he realized he caught a demon on that thing. Also, where do you even begin to create something like this? What in the heck is that bird? Ah, okay, it's called the Andean condor. Wherever this thing is from, it can stay there. That bird is way too big. It's literally big enough to carry me away.
So you're telling me that thousands of fish turn up dead at Lake Washington and thousands more are dying, and there's nothing wrong with that? Matter of fact, look at this. I want you to take a minute and look and see what's going on here.
Bro.
Listen to this man.
Like what?
How did all those fish die?
Bro, this is crazy.
You see, everything happens for a reason. Tell me what reason you think
I'm like
that all of those fish died.
Did somebody put something in the water?
Yeah.
And it's all the way back out through there, bro.
Look at this.
All those fish.
Yeah, all right. Do I need to remind you that there is only two things that could happen in that situation? It's either someone or something put something in that water and those fish just turned up dead, or we could be looking at a situation like we just looked at when those animals were leaving Yellowstone Park. And if that's a situation like that, and those fish are taking their own life, then we might have a way worse situation on our hands. So the person that made that video said him and his father took a trip to Lake Washington like they usually do. But as they got closer to Lake Washington, he smelled something that he's never smelled before. And he said he thought maybe it was a dead pig or a dead animal or something like that, but he didn't think it was that many dead fish. And as you can see in that video, it was more than just a little bit of fish. Now, apparently, something happened that wasn't supposed to happen in that area, and nobody's saying anything about it. Because I'm quite sure the person that made the video is not the only person that's seen all those dead fish. So I ask, what do you think happened?
I think something got leaked into the water, and at the same time, this could also be a sign from the universe, just like the doomsday fish when it washes up on the beach.
If this is true, then this is insane, and this needs to be exposed immediately. A lot of people have come out recently, including growers themselves, trying to expose what's going on inside of the marijuana you-know-what industry. With growers themselves mentioning how the growing process has apparently been altered. With growers showing their requirements as of lately of having to wear hazmat suits when apparently spraying the plants. Mentioning on many occasions of which I've noticed chemicals that are apparently very harmful and toxic. According to them, forcing the plants to grow larger buds and speeding up the growing process as well. Some of these hazmat suits of which they've been showing off that apparently they've been forced to use are kind of concerning. And coincidentally, throughout the last 6 months alone, I've been noticing a lot of people have a lot of reports. Majority of these individuals' ages ranging anywhere from 20 to even 50 years old and having 10 plus years of experience. Considering how lenient that our government has been throughout the last 2 years alone with the legalization process, I can't say that I'd be surprised. I mean, I had to personally quit well over a year ago. Yes, I've been 100% sober for over a year now. I am very proud of myself. But anyways, I noticed weirdly enough after 10 plus years that I started to get paranoid, and a lot of people started to blame me growing up for that. But then of course I started noticing it all around me and I just ignored it. Regardless, this is highly concerning if what they're mentioning is actually occurring in the industry. We all know how big pharma is, so I would highly recommend that you just stay aware of how you feel in the future. At this point in time, I would not put anything past our government, honestly. And when it comes to something like that, I mean, you never know.
The only chemical that should ever be sprayed on a plant is to get rid of like the pesticides and stuff like that. I see what they're doing though, just like they did with the Juul pods with all those crazy flavors to get younger people addicted to it. And I think they're doing the same thing by spraying this crazy chemical on the plant to make it more potent, so it makes you more paranoid. I don't know if that's true. That's just my thought on that.
You ever heard of Jolly West? Jolly West worked for the CIA under MK Ultra and led Subproject 43, a psychophysiological studies of hypnosis and suggestibility. Also involved in MK Ultra LSD research. This dude apparently loved LSD, but also loved studying the human psyche. He would test it on people unbeknownst to them. Would just find random people and test LSD on them.
What a cool dude.
So in 1962, Jolly West injected a 7,000-pound elephant named Tusco with 297 milligrams of LSD at the Oklahoma City Zoo.
Because he was bored?
Killed the elephant. And he also worked in the Hyatt Ashbury Free Clinic. It was a clinic where troubled people or insane people would go. Not only did Jolly study LSD and all that stuff, but he also was super heavy into studying like the occult and different types of cults. And guess who went through this clinic? Charles Manson.
Yep.
So the theory is that Jolly recruited Charles Manson in MK Ultra and was testing him, and that's what led to murder, starting this cult. A huge thing of the MK Ultra of him like figuring out how to break someone's mind was to put them through sleep deprivation mixed with LSD. They said you could actually hypnotize and manipulate someone so they can do something.
Past their breaking point.
Yeah.
Gosh, man, that's truly terrifying.
Well, that's great. Jolly West is a horrible dude. Took out an elephant and made a serial unaliver. Way to go, Jolly. That's definitely something to write home to your mom about. Yeah, I think the badge of bravery goes to every single person living in Australia. I already freak out when I see a spider in my room, so God forbid if I saw a Mike Tyson-sized kangaroo at my back door.
Food is not food anymore. Like, do you know what azodibicarbonamide is? Well, it's an ingredient that's banned in Europe that's used to make foam plastics like yoga mats and shoe soles. Now, we put it in our bread because it makes the dough rise faster, which means more output per hour and more profit for the manufacturer. There's also another ingredient called diacetyl tartaric acid esters of mono and diglycerides. It is a dough conditioner that strengthens the dough and keeps it soft for weeks, extending the shelf life, aka, once again, more profit. The downside is that it leads to inflammation of the heart. Calcium propionate, a preservative. It prevents molding, which maybe a lot of us haven't seen in our food in a while, but it does happen naturally if you don't eat your food. It is linked to a bunch of developmental issues, motor and cognitive impairments, language delay, dementia, seizures, autism. In fact, here is a pretty long list of chemical ingredients that are commonly found in our store-bought bread here in America that's banned or restricted in other countries. So if you're feeling bloated, foggy, tired, inflamed, breaking out, or just off, you might want to check the bread that you've been eating.
It's really crazy when you think about it, how many things they have tainted. Our food, our drinks, and our vices. At this point, I'm going to start hibernating, eating grass, and drinking coconut water.
In downtown Phoenix, Arizona, there's a restaurant called Hanny's. Not only is this a classier restaurant, but everything appears to be normal, at least on the surface. However, there are a couple things that raise an eyebrow. This is nothing. It gets much worse. I'm curious what type of art has dolls locked up in a basement. And as you can see, people feed this display money. This is something that would be strange for any restaurant. However, this particular restaurant is known for its pizza. So dolls locked up in a basement at a restaurant that specializes in pizza. The rest of the art is also strange. What's up with the doll faces on her behind? I mentioned this pizza place in another video and how the logo is a little too close for comfort. I'm not saying anything nefarious is going on with either of these pizza places. However, this type of symbolism came from somewhere. Therefore, this kind of thing exists. With that said, you'd think businesses would be more cautious about the logo and artwork choices.
Is this some sort of subliminal message that they keep children in a basement somewhere? Because I sure hope not. I don't even call that art. That's just disturbing.
What is going on with airplanes lately? Moments ago, an American Airlines flight burst into flames at Denver International Airport, and the airplane had to deploy its inflatable evacuation emergency slides. And as you can see here, the passengers are scrambling to get off. You can see a lot of children also having to evacuate the plane this way. This looks like it is straight out of a Hollywood movie, but that's not the only weird thing that has happened with planes this week. Yesterday, a Southwest flight that took off from Burbank flying to Las Vegas nosedived 500 feet to avoid a mid-air collision with another plane, and it sent passengers and flight attendants flying, many of which hit the ceiling, and several flight attendants are injured. Both the American Airlines plane and the Southwest plane were Boeing 737 MAX 8s. And just a few days ago, there was an article written asking if these planes are even safe because there's been so many incidences in the last few years with these planes. It seems like this is what the Boeing whistleblower was trying to warn us about. I think to be safe, I'm going to try to avoid flying on this type of plane. What about you? Or do you think it's something else going on?
Man, that whistleblower was right all along. These planes are still having issues to this day. And I hope everybody on that plane got out safely. Also, someone's getting fired for being an air traffic controller.
I bet you didn't know that waking up and finding a cockroach inside of your ear isn't as uncommon as you'd like to think. That's right, it's actually kind of common. But hold up, there's a science behind it. Cockroaches are most active in darkness, and at night we're just laying there helplessly, sleeping, thinking nothing's going to happen. They're looking for a small, dark, humid place with food. Cockroaches are attracted to a chemical called volatile fatty acids, which are released when food is fermented, like bread, beer, and cheese. Turns out our earwax releases that exact same chemical. So cockroaches are instantly attracted to the smell of our ears. They go inside looking for a tasty treat. But the ear canal is pretty narrow, so they get stuck. And then you have a roach stuck in your ear, which has to be usually removed by a medical professional. There was even a case of one guy having a cockroach lay an egg sac inside of his ear, and the babies hatched out. Imagine just minding your own business, and then tons of baby cockroaches come pouring out of your ear. I wish I wasn't exaggerating about this or making this up, because as someone who loves all insects, I'd still be pretty freaked out if a cockroach was in my ear.
I don't know about you, but both of my ears are itching after listening to that. I'm forever wearing a hoodie when I go to sleep now, or wearing earplugs or headphones.
We never buy our meat from anywhere but a local meat market, but we got this on vacation. Look, I just want to show y'all something. There's like, look at that. What is that? Do y'all see that? Look at that slimy pink stuff. Hey, baby, get me a fork or something. What on earth? Can somebody tell me what this right here is supposed to be? Like, this is, hold on. Like, look. Man, it wasn't expired or anything, dude. Look, Clark Payne, y'all be sure to follow me, dude, because I'm fixing to do all kinds of tests. And I'm going to show y'all all. Look at that. Does that look stringy to y'all right there? Look at that. That looks like a daggum worm right there, but it ain't. Hold on. Here's some more of this mess out. Look at that. Look at that. Look. Are y'all seeing that? What is going on with that pink looking slime?
I'll let you know right now, if I can't see the meat, I'm not buying it. That looked like some pink slime meat they had back in McDonald's. I don't know, but to me, the meat kind of looked old, but if it's not, that's terrible. All right, guys, that's the end of today's video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And if you enjoyed today's video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.